On today's episode of Truth in Real Estate, we're going to cover the pros and cons of renting versus buying.
Be strong.
Hi, I'm Chris Blackwell,
And I'm Dina Ramos.
and we're here today to talk about the pros and cons of renting versus buying.
Yeah, it's a really big decision, and I think people are sometimes on the fence. They don't know which way to go.
So, Dina, what do you think the biggest con of renting is?
I would say, in my personal opinion, it is not gaining any kind of equity. That place will never be yours. You cannot modify it without permission. I don't know. That for me, that would be the biggest deal.
Well, one of mine is that you never know, like next year, people are talking about the rents have gone up. My rent went up $300.
Yes.
And I mean, that's the crazy thing because, Dean and I are licensed realtors here in the state of Texas. And then, but we're always doing comps, and we also do property management. So we're renewing leases for our properties as well. And you kind of look at these and you go, wow, I could really go up based on the market, $250 on this tenant.
Exactly, and that's what's been going on across the board here in the Houston area, for example. And we have received many calls reaching out, trying to find a place in the last minute. They have a month to move out. So.
And luckily, I mean, with our management company, we actually have our tenants put in 60-day notices. So we're actually making them kind of push it a little bit, and we're actually sending out those renewal notices about 75 days before it expires. Yeah. But I mean, I can only imagine. I mean, what do you got, audience, think? Do you think that being told in 30 days you got to pay $300 more a month in rent?
Yeah, that's a big jump, and sometimes people are caught so far off guard, and it feels discourteous. But you know what? It's within the landlord's right to do.
So, Dean, one of the other things, but actually owning a home, what do you think the cons of owning your own home is?
Keeping up with maintenance of your home. Some people become very overwhelmed.
They do.
Yeah.
I mean, we've actually seen it from, tenants especially, that they don't even realize. I mean, that's like one of the nice things about, it's actually a pro for renting, is that landlord has more responsibility for maintaining that property. But even some of them, it's kind of crazy just to think that they're like, the light bulb is out or the batteries are not working.
Exactly.
And, the application, or excuse me, not applications, but the actual lease here in the state of Texas, those items are not included.
They're not. And many people come straight out of their parents' home and stuff like this. And that's where they get that, hey, I don't know how to do this or that, changing a light bulb, changing air filters, etc. That's minor. So these are actually what we would say pros for being a renter, because most of the heavy maintenance and responsibilities, including paying taxes, are not for, if you're not ready for it, then probably renting is for you.
You also need to tell your parents to give you some home training.
True.
I mean, because if you don't know how to change a light bulb, by the time you're legal age enough.
What happens when you get tired of renting and you want to buy? You don't know how to do anything. This is like your practice run when you're leasing, I think.
It is.
So.
But you don't want to have to call out a HVAC technician or a handyman to come change your air filter.
That's true.
We see a lot of those bills just because we're, in the property management. So we're like, get those bills. I mean, honestly, though, we don't get them for air filters, but still a standard call out fee for any kind of anybody nowadays is at least $100.
It is. I mean, you're being conservative at that. So
I am. I mean, that's just like for them to show up at their.
Yeah. So I in my opinion, when you're trying to buy, let's go with a pro here for buying. You're building equity in that property, number one.
Exactly.
Second thing is, how many of you guys have your furry babies at home? They're your babies, right? Many landlords refuse to have them. So your pickings are slim sometimes for your furry babies to come on board.
Or if you're in love with a specific breed, I mean, bully mixed breeds, some German Shepherds, pit bulls, those kinds of animals, they actually are typically a no-go with a lot of landlords. Dina, why is that though?
Well, many times insurance providers will not cover aggressive breeds being on a property, especially a rental. The liability is too high. And so many times they'll do spot checks
Yes.
Yeah, they send a person to the properties being covered. It might not be right away. It could be months down the road. If they discover one of these, what they call dangerous breeds on the property, you get dropped immediately, or you have to pay a very high premium. So, Chris, I think that, being that you see a lot of both buyers and with the property management side of things at One Innovative, you are also dealing with renters. What do you think? Why do you think, from what you see, people, why don't they buy? Why do they continue to rent?
I think a lot of them are scared. I mean, even though right now you can get down payment assistance, everybody's, we don't make payments in interest rates, guys. We make payments in dollars. So if you're already paying a lot of money for rent, I mean, we have rental properties that the rents are $2,500, $3,000 a month. If you're already paying that, you have a lot of money that's not, there's no equity you're getting from that. You're just throwing that money away.
Right. And you're leaving yourself out of wealth building for your future. You're leaving yourself out of tax benefits. And it's not quite as stable for you. Again, like as we said, at any given time, the landlord can raise your rent. At any given time, the landlord can decide, you know what, I'm not going to renew your lease. And you have to make a quick decision. So if you must rent, my personal advice to you is use this as a time to learn to budget.
Yes.
To look into your credit, making sure that your credit ready in case you do and want to buy, which everyone should get to that point.
If you have any questions, we'll actually answer those on an upcoming show, so leave them in the comment section below. So, Dina, you actually made a great point. I mean, that's another reason for tenants, though, for renters/tenants that are actually renting now, is because maybe they have a job that they have to move. They're on a temporary assignment that's only going to be for a year, on a contract that's only for 1 or 2 years. They don't want to actually purchase something in a new city, or that's another great reason to as well, is that you want to rent because maybe you just moved to the 4th largest city in the United States, Houston, and you're like, well, I don't know what part of town I want to live in.
Exactly, and you're just testing it out. You have to get your feet wet and see where everything is. But it's important to know during this time, hey, have a plan, get a plan of action. If that's the case, go visit different communities on the weekend and see what your feel is. It's important to feel good where you're at.
Exactly.
Is it the school districts? What it is that
what's important to you? Are you a single person who's, wanting to be in an urban area? Maybe you want to be by all the bars and everything, or maybe maybe you don't have that lifestyle and you want to be out in a master planned community somewhere.
Exactly.
You actually get to go and experience that.
We have it all here in Texas.
So, I'm Chris Blackwell.
And I'm Dina Ramos.
And we'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks.
Managing your own properties got you feeling overwhelmed? You're not alone. You will be happy to know help has arrived. All your property needs and stress-free. One Innovative Management is here to help. $100 a month is all it takes. So when you're ready for a change, one that will change how you make money, One Innovative Management is here for you.